Using any three poems from the selection show that Keats' poetry is influenced by his fear of death. In Odes of Bath, Baths of Passion and Mirth, he's concerned about the works of art, the stories that have been left behind by the bards, which have shaped generations. Their works have attained immortality. And he also believes that the bards are living in a world which is better than that on earth. Keats is more concerned about what legacy that he will leave behind in his poetry. He is very frantic and wants to be sure that when he dies, his poetry will achieve the level of immortality. In lines in Mehmet Tavern, Keats compares life in the afterworld and that on earth. The poem suggests that Mehmet Tavern is a better place when he talks about its pleasurable activities, such as wine and the pies. It also focuses about its relocation, which is a sign of death. The tavern has been opened in a different place, in a different name. The contrast here is about Elysium, which is the place where it is believed that people died and went to, and earth. The Mehmet Tavern may symbolize the world and its pleasures, and the focus is on the uncertainty about life after death. The relocation of the tavern may suggest that life is subject to change. That is, after life, what comes next is death. And Keats was very much concerned about when he will die because of the terminal tuberculosis that was ravaging his lungs at the time, because it had no cure. Into my brothers, Keats is happy with the warmth of the fire and the company which he shares with his brothers. He enjoys the company because they inspire him to write poetry and wishes that such moments last forever. But he knows that such happiness, like life itself, is short-lived. Sooner, he will hear the great voice, which will call his soul to signal the end of his earthly life, which is death. The poem is about the fragility of happiness, the brevity of life, and death, which is an inevitable conclusion of human existence on earth. Lastly, in When I Have Fears, I May Cease to Be, Keats is obsessed with death because of the illness that he had contracted while nursing his brother. He's worried that he might die without writing good poetry, which will give his work the status of immortality. Although he accepts death as being inevitable, he is afraid of his own limitations, that he might not achieve the artistry that he had craved for. Keats had wanted to achieve the notoriety of people like Chapman and Shakespeare, whom he calls the master poet. Remember, he says, on sitting down to read King Lear again, that after reading the poem, it carries him to a different level of imagination and creativity to write better verses. Same as reading the translation of Homer's Iliad by Chapman, which takes him to a world, which transports him to a world to which he had never been, a world of imagination. Thank you for listening.